Welcome to Our Space in Your Space. I am Jess, and today we have a quick sequence to help release any tension in your hip flexors. So grab yourself a yoga block for a prop today, roll out your mat, and let's get ready to go. Without further ado, we're actually going to start lying down on our backs today. So when you're ready, join me with your back nice and flat to the earth. Coming down, taking your time here, using this to transition into this moment. Letting the legs go out nice and long. Walking your shoulder blades out maybe once or twice here, just to get as much of the spine flat to the earth as you can. Moving the fleshy part of the glutes out of the way. Hands fall gently next to the side body, palms facing up. I'm gonna scooch up here a little bit. Letting the legs just fall, legs opening up, toes pointing out. Thinking about drawing your navel into the spine. Once again, flattening as much of the back to the earth as you can, and then just closing your eyes. Taking a few deep breaths here. Just letting yourself settle in, letting go of whatever your day has looked like thus far, whatever happened your week leading up to your weekend. Letting go of the idea of holding on to what's coming next. And just bringing yourself into this awareness within your body to listen to where that tension might be coming from, where those sensations are the most prominent, and then just bringing our breath to that specific part of the body, especially visualizing on the exhale, releasing any tension surrounding that part of the body. Today, obviously, we have a specificity on our hips, so if that's where you spend your visualization, releasing that tension. But, also just pay attention that we're not creating tension in the shoulders, the upper back, the face, as we release our hips. Fantastic. So our left leg is going to stay on the ground. We'll keep it nice and active by flexing the foot, letting it ground into the earth. And as you inhale, lifting the right leg to a 90-degree angle, bending at the knee, flexing the right foot. Bringing the right hand to the right thigh. And now bringing some resistance here. So really think about contracting the right leg, feeling all the way from your hip socket to your knee, the quadricep kind of react here. Press the knee into the hand into the knee, still staying nice and active through the left side, but just relaxing the upper body. So letting your shoulders stay nice and loose, and just imagining that the more awareness we can bring between the hand and the thigh, the greater the release will be here in just a moment. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, let it go through the mouth, pressing a little bit more knee to hand, hand to knee or thigh. Taking 2 more big breaths here. Nice job. 1 more. Keeping that right foot engaged by flexing the toes back to your face. Exhale completely. At the bottom of the exhale, release the right leg back down. Let both legs go limp here. Relax. Let them open. Let the palms open. Taking 3 more nice clearing breaths here. Sometimes it helps to visualize the hip socket with a bunch of extra gunk, if you will, around it. And each movement, each breath chips away at that little by little until it's all gone and we're able to clear out that space, releasing any tension, any soreness. Left leg will come back on and active by flexing through that left heel. Inhale breath is going to draw the right knee into the chest, interlacing your fingers about 2 inches below right knee, or if that's not available today, you always have underneath the thigh to grab onto. Also an opportunity here for a yoga strap, a prop, a necktie if you don't have any of the fancy yoga props, coming into wind releasing posture on the right hand side. So remembering to rotate your knee out to the right just a little bit, opening up that hip socket so the focus is more right shoulder and right knee versus knee into the chest. So coming around the rib cage just a little bit, just like when we were pressing hand to thigh. The more tension or the more awareness that we can bring here by consistently pulling knee into shoulder, the greater the benefit will be on the release. Be mindful here though that you're not having shoulders kiss up to your ears or pull forward, releasing the shoulders, and then thinking about bringing the awareness or the grip into your fingerprints. So your fingerprints pulling down. There's a continuous movement or pulling in, but a little bit more awareness on each exhale breath. So as we exhale, imagining there being a little bit more space to go a little bit deeper. Keep flexing through that left heel. Now, if this is feeling really good, real juicy, it's really getting where it needs to be, feel free to stay. Or you can come with me here and open up to half happy baby. Bringing your hand to the outside edge of right foot or underneath the right knee, keeping a 90-degree angle as best as we can, and then opening the leg out to the side, and as we exhale, pulling down on that foot. Once again, if grabbing the foot isn't available today, if you're really sore in your hips, you can hook your arm underneath that thigh, underneath the knee, open the leg out to the side, and produce that same pulling in compression that we're looking to achieve here with a little bit less flexibility today. So remember, obviously there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just a matter of what's going to serve your body and feel good. Being mindful here that the body's going to try to pull to the right. So really keeping an awareness through that left side body, making sure we stay anchored through left hip, keeping left foot open, flexing the foot back, and trying to keep that left shoulder on the ground as well. Taking a few nice deep breaths here. Probably beginning to feel some sensations in the groin area, in that hip. So it's really important to just remember to breathe through the sensations. Sometimes when our body signals to the mind discomfort, that can have our fight or flight mode kick in, and the body will start to tense up even more to try to avoid that pain or discomfort. So that's when our breath comes back to remind us that this discomfort or these sensations that we're feeling right now are actually helping us. And the more we can relax in, kind of surrender to the posture, the more benefit we'll receive in these restorative postures. Fantastic. Carefully releasing that leg. Let the knee kind of bend in, heel comes towards the groin, taking it into a little bit of a twist. So left hand will guide the right knee over the left side body. Let that right hip lift now and reach the right arm over to the side, looking past the right shoulder, just getting a nice stretch in the back. You might start to feel this come from the low back, hugging into the obliques, coming to the front side of the thigh, into the front of your hip. Left shoulder stays plugged to the ground as we look past right fingers, upper back stays on the earth. Nice work. On an inhale breath, using your core for support here, come back through center. And as you exhale, just let that right leg once again go out long. Feel free to shake it out here just a little bit, or just take a moment to recognize how that right hip feels. And if you're starting to feel any difference, you might even notice that the right leg feels a little bit longer than the left. Now we'll keep that right leg nice and active, flex through the foot. And then inhale, we'll start off by that 90-degree bend in the left knee, placing the hand to the top of the thigh, pressing in here. thinking about scooping the tailbone down as well. So lengthening the tailbone, pressing the low back to the earth as we find that equal resistance between hand and thigh, pressing in, beginning to feel that engagement in the front side of your hip, feeling the core start to turn on to support here. Taking 3 deep breaths. Each exhale invites you to bring a little bit more awareness into the hand, into the thigh, keeping that right heel nice and flexed. Nice work. One more big breath here. Exhale, feel the spine flatten to the earth. Press a little bit more. At the bottom of the exhale, releasing left leg all the way back down, finding stillness, opening up the hips, letting the legs just fall as they will. Closing the eyes if that works, taking nice deep inhale breaths here, imagining it traveling all the way from the tops of your toes to the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, feeling the backside body get a little bit closer to the earth, flattening it a little bit more. Nice work. Nice. Right foot will turn back on. Flex through that heel. Feel your quadricep turn on. Kneecap lift. Inhale breath is going to bring that left knee into the body. Interlace the fingers just below the kneecap and start to find that gentle pull in. Remember to come around the rib cage, bringing left knee closer to left shoulder, taking out any tension from the upper body, relaxing the face, and then just sinking these little baby movements in with your breath. This is also a place and time where if grabbing into the knee isn't available, remember you can take any kind of prop here that's going to assist you in this pulling in process, just to kind of slowly work that sludge out of that left hip area and kind of just moving like you're moving through honey. So nice and slow, not trying to jerk the leg into the body. And imagining as we're pulling the left knee in, we're pressing through the right heel, creating this equal yet opposite pulling in and pressing out, helping elongate the spine, helping with the low back, as well as compressing the front side of that hip. Now we can stay here once again, or you can take it into a progression into your half happy baby, bringing your hand to the outside edge of the foot or underneath the thigh and knee. On an inhale breath, opening up that leg, finding a 90-degree bend with the knee and the thigh, or wherever you can go today. Coming into this side, noticing that right hip lifting up, trying to keep that right side body anchored to the ground by flexing through the right foot. It might even help you to reach the right arm out to the side, just to prevent you from rolling all the way over. Breathe in here. This could be pretty intense. I'm feeling it in my hamstrings as well as my hips. So if you've been doing a lot of running or dancing, you're probably feeling it in your lower body. Nice work. Carefully bringing that heel closer into the groin, letting the knee bend, release the grip. Let the right hand guide the left knee over the right side body, reaching left arm out to the side, shoulders stay connected. You're welcome to close your eyes here and just start to feel the stretch all the way through the side body, coming through that knee. Maybe starting to feel a little stretch in the glutes here. And just breathe. Coming back through center, letting your core support you here. Bringing both knees to bend, both feet flat to the ground. Just take a second to windshield wiper your legs side to side as you get your prop. So if your prop is not handy, feel free to mindfully move to go ahead and grab it. We're going to come into a supported bridge pose. So feet are going to be flat on the ground, toes pointing straight ahead, knees tracking over the big toes. With your block, you do have a couple of different settings. I would recommend medium or full setting, or the tallest one for this posture. To begin, you're going to press your heels into the ground and start to lift your hips up. Once you get the hips up, you can decide what setting to put your block at. And we're going to be putting it right at the lower back here, right above your glutes. So placing that block in that low back region. So you do want to still have kind of a diagonal here in bridge, hence why I'm talking about going to at least the medium setting, or if you have the mobility today to lift up through the front side body, bringing it all the way to the highest setting, that would be advisable. We do want to get our hips up as high as we possibly can here. Now this is going to feel strange at first, especially if this is your first time using a prop like this in this posture. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some time to settle in, activating the inner thigh muscles to help support and stabilize the body, having a nice firm foundation through the feet, tucking the chin in just a little bit here, making sure to not kink or bring stress to the back side of your neck. Fingertips reach towards the heels, and just being in this position, you're probably already starting to feel some talk in the low back area. So settle in, breathe. A lot of times when we come into these restorative practices, it takes a little bit more effort or a little bit more awareness to stay mindful and stay present. So just continuously bring yourself back to your breath here. If the mind starts to wander, notice what parts of the body are talking to you through sensations, and just bring your focus there, sending your breath mindfully to those parts of the body. Now we're going to progress here. If you feel stable, if you're feeling like this is working for you, and or you need to lift your hips, give your spine a little bit of a break, lower back down for a moment, feel free to do so. And then when you're ready, just always remembering to press into the heels as you inhale, lift the hip points up. Maybe try a different setting as you come back in. Staying here for round 2, or feel free to diesel, go lay down. Go lay down. Bringing your right leg up and over for a progression into reclined pigeon. So the right foot is going to come up and over the heel, flexing the foot, pressing that right knee down. So we are obviously balancing on a block while we do this, so making sure you have nice solid foot foundation, pressing into that left heel, letting your upper body support you without gripping into your hands and pushing down. Now if this is too much for you on the block, you're always welcome to take the block out, bring the spine back, and just bring yourself into that supine pigeon posture on the ground. If you can stay in the progression and stay up in supported bridge, you will receive a little bit more benefit here. So try it out. Nice job. To come out of that, we're going to go ahead and take the right leg off the left. And before we take it down, we're going to straighten the right leg. Oh, that should feel so good in the front side of your right hip here. Straightening that right leg all the way out, keeping awareness in the right foot, pointing the toe. Don't be alarmed by the sensations that you might be experiencing in the low back at this moment. Just breathe here and trust. Take, go lay down. Bending that right leg, pressing into both heels to lift the hips. Remove the block for a moment. Let your spine come all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet together to touch. Let the knees go out as wide as you can here. Relax. Settle your spine. Nice job. Inhale, breath, close the legs or bring them back into center, plant through the feet, press into your heels. We're going to lift back up, taking it to the other side, bringing that block back underneath you. And again, if you were at the highest setting and you want to take it down a notch, feel free to do so, or vice versa. If you were at a lower setting and you want to take it up, you can also do that. On an inhale breath, left leg is going to come up and over, flexing through the left foot, pushing the left knee open and out. Tank, go lay down. Go lay down. My dogs are trying to come back in again. Go lay down. Pressing left knee out, flexing left foot. If you want to help that leg, feel free to do so, but hands on the earth is probably going to provide you with the most support and avoid you falling off that block. If you're a little wobbly here, that's okay. Use your core and your breath to kind of just stabilize and settle in. Nice job. Releasing that left leg, taking it out nice and long before we take it back. Pointing through the left toes. Notice if you're bringing any tension into your shoulders. Relax. Right inner thigh is nice and active, keeping that right knee from opening out, keeping it tracking through center, using your abductor muscles in the inner thigh here to support the release of the front side of that left hip. Nice work. Slowly bring the left knee bent, plant both feet to the ground, inhale breath, lift the hips up nice and slow. As you exhale, think about one vertebrae at a time touching the mat until the whole spine is flat. Heel toe the feet back in together, let the knees go wide. Relax, letting go of any tension that was maybe created in the low back, any discomfort. You can move your block out of the way. Fantastic. Go ahead and inhale, breath, bring the legs together to close. So we're going to come onto the left side of our body, reaching the left arm overhead to act as a pillow, and then bringing the knees to touch and bringing the legs so that they have a 90-degree angle here. So the thighs and then into your shins. From here, we're going to bring the right foot back to the right hand, coming into kind of like a quad stretch. Activate that left foot, flex it so that the left knee and left side body stays down and doesn't pull you out to the back. And then just like when we're in dancer pose and as we've practiced before, bring the sensation into the posture by pressing your foot into your hand with enough awareness that you can start to feel that stretch in the front side of your right hip. You don't have to take it super far to feel it, and or you might have to kick a little bit more to feel it a little deeper. So just play around with the level of sensation that you bring and what it feels like. Taking nice deep breaths here, feeling the torso get a little bit longer with each breath. Kicking the foot into the hand with each exhale a little bit more. Nice job releasing the right leg. Going ahead and going on the other side. You can turn if you'd like. I'm just going to swing my legs and take it to the other side so that I can stay facing you guys. Taking your right arm out, using it as a pillow here, bending the knees. Bringing that 90-degree angle back into the legs, taking a second to just let your spine relax and settle in here for just a moment. And then when you're ready, bringing the left leg back, grabbing onto the foot, dropping the knee back down. So when you go to grab your leg, very likely you're going to have like this chicken wing with your left knee lifted up. We want to drop the leg back so that we have this linear line in our hip. So remember that obviously in this hip socket, we want to keep this alignment as we're pulling it back to stretch. When we lift that leg up, it's going to produce a kink over here. It might pinch and create some tension there. So just dropping that leg back down when we have the grip, and then starting to pull the leg back as well as kick the foot into the hand. Getting that stretch all the way through the front of the hip, coming into your quad. Now, if your hamstring starts to cramp up on you, feel free to straighten it out. And then on an exhale breath, bring it back down. Nice. Go ahead and release that side. And then we're gonna come to all fours. So coming to the top of your mat, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, bringing your hips directly over your knees. Toes can stay tucked underneath you if it feels nice to stretch out the bottoms of your feet, or for a little bit more support and stability, bring the tops of the feet to touch your mat. From here, we're just gonna take one leg out at a time, extending on the exhale, pressing through the heel of that foot, being mindful here not to dump into your shoulders, pressing into the ground to lift back up. Now, flex the right foot to kind of, in a sense, drop the right hip back down. So we don't want to open up the hip. We're just looking to lengthen out the front side of that right leg by extending through the heel as much as you possibly can. Using your core here to help stabilize the body, drawing everything into center, pulling the navel back towards the spine. Now on an exhale breath, we're going to step the right foot forward in between our hands, just bringing yourself into a low lunge. Now if you get here and your hips are really sore or tight, feel free to grab your ankle, put the foot where you'd like it to go, making sure that we stay hip distance apart. And then on an inhale breath, coming up in the upper body, letting your handprints come to the top of that thigh. And as you exhale, just roll the shoulders away from the ears here for a moment. Starting to find a little movement into a low lunge. On the exhale, bringing yourself in a little bit deeper. Now, if your left knee is a little bit sore, remember you can always pad up your yoga mat by folding it over, bringing a blanket or a pillow underneath that left knee, if that supports you as well. Now you're welcome to find this movement, the inhale lifting the hips, the exhale lowering them, or you can come into your low lunge and breathe here, whichever feels more supportive for your release. Nice work. Coming back to knee stacking over the ankle, we're going to bring our right hand to our right hip for support. And as you inhale, left arm will reach up to the sky. As you exhale, starting to draw the upper body to the right, hugging the right knee into the center here, squeezing your inner thigh to help yourself not fall over. Left shoulder rolls back, producing a side body stretch from left hip all the way through the torso, out the left fingers. Really grounding down through that back left foot here to help with your support. Nice job. Inhale, breath, come all the way back up. And we're going to bend that left knee. Now, if you need a little extra support here, you're welcome to bring your block to the outside of your right foot. Try to still keep your right knee stacked over the ankle as you reach back. You might grab the toe, you might be able to grab the ankle, just grab and hold. And release back down. Bring your hands to the earth. Step that right foot back. All four, tabletop position. Feel free to shake the hips a little, side to side. Shoulders stack the wrist. And then we slowly will take that left leg out long on an inhale breath. Flexing through the heel, lengthening the leg out. Noticing where our hips are, trying to keep them square to the mat, not opening up that left side, pressing through the heel, just a little bit more. Nice work. Staying nice and strong in the upper body, pressing into the earth to lift up. On an exhale breath, we'll step that left foot in between the hands, help it get there. And on an inhale breath, coming up, hands to the front of the thigh, shoulders roll back, and then starting to find just a little movement here, going with your breath, noticing how deep you need to go into this side just to start to work into that side of the hip. And now we've done some work already, so you might notice that you're getting a little bit more mobility you're getting a little bit more range of movement that we can sink into, which is a definite reminder to just stay present. Don't go into autopilot mode thinking, well, this is where I think I should be or should go. Just listen to where your body can and wants to go and take it there. Nice job. Bringing yourself all the way back up. Left hand will stay on the left hip. As you inhale, the right arm reaches to the sky. As you exhale, torso to the left. Reach the right arm overhead. Hug the left thigh and hip into center line. Roll the right shoulder back as you reach to the left. Feeling this tremendous stretch into the side body coming into the front side of that right hip. Left arm can just kind of hang out on left thigh for support. Reach out a little bit more. Fantastic. Exhale, breath. Lean forward just a little bit. Feel free to grab your block here if you'd like. Grabbing onto the foot. If you lean forward to get your grab, bring yourself back. Knee stacks over ankle. Kick into the hand as you sit up nice and tall. Feeling a pretty intense stretch there in the front side of your right thigh. Nice. Letting that leg go. Now we're going to plant both hands onto the ground, but we're going to be stepping our right foot up to meet the left, taking it into a deep yogic squat, or so where your left foot, you're going to walk it out, let your toes point out. And if you want, you can lift that knee up and then step the leg up, however you need to get there, and then let yourself settle in. Now, if this is a little too intense for you to be in this deep yogi squat, feel free to bring that block under your booty, have a seat, and sit up nice and tall from there. The idea here is to open up the hips. Use your elbows and the inside of your knees to kind of push it open. And this is why, even if you don't normally use a prop here, I would recommend maybe just for a moment settling into it, because it really lets you get a little deeper into your hips without having all that extra strain from just hanging out in the air. It also allows you to kind of get the correct alignment in your spine with having your tailbone swinging underneath you, so that if and when you're ready to progress without the yoga block, that muscle memory comes back and we can remember how it should feel without the block. So wherever you are, breathe here, close your eyes, press the knees out a little bit more, lift the heart up to the sky, listen to your breath, listen to your body. Nice job. Bringing your hands to the mat to support you, lifting your hips, removing the block from underneath you, and then walking your hands behind you, coming down to sit, letting your legs go out nice and long in front of you, moving the fleshy part of the booty once again out of the way. And you might be backwards now. Your top of your mat might be where your feet are. You're perfectly fine, exactly where you are. Inhale, breath reaches the arms all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, slowly come forward. It's okay to keep a little bend in the knees here, reaching towards the toes. Nice. Looking to keep the back straight here. And if you have a prop handy and you want to bring it, just to remind yourself to not worry about collapsing forward, yet keeping the spine long, pulling the hip points back, and staying up nice and tall. Sometimes bringing a block to the top of your thighs, letting your rib cage rest on there, can be supportive. Imagining those hip points pulling back and you're hinging forward from the hips, rotating the legs inward, keeping that awareness, flexing the feet back to the face. Nice
step. If you want to remove that block, if you've opened up some space in the low back and the hips to go a little bit further, for these last few breaths, feel free to kind of let the spine round more now. Maybe on an exhale breath, letting the head fall, the chin tucked to the chest. And your hands don't need to be anywhere near your toes. We're not trying to touch our toes here. We're trying to release our hips. So keep a heavy bend in the knees. Let your torso touch the thighs. Let your head just fall. And then when you're ready, letting an inhale breath bring you all the way back up to sit. And then as you exhale, taking the journey all the way to your back. Letting your arms come alongside you. Maybe taking a second just to roll each leg. Find a little organic movement here. Noticing how the hips feel. If there's any residual tension that needs to be worked out, feel free to do so until you can come to lay on your spine nice and flat, resting here in Savasana for as long as you can, letting all the work of your practice be absorbed from the inside out, getting ready to carry you through whatever the rest of your day entails. Feel free to add this video to the end of a run or any other workout just to keep lengthening and loosening up those hip flexors, allowing you to perform better and feel better.